Hey, what's going on, YouTube land? It's me, TJ, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Wrestling Nostalgia, where I get my wrestling content on these videos. So today we are going to be reviewing WWE's Evolution. Yeah, so without further ado, without anything else, we're going to get straight into the review. It was the opener, the triple threat women's Intercontinental Championship match. It is Becky Lynch putting up her championship against Bayley and La Vicarious. So this matchup started off with Bayley swinging at La Vicarious, so then it was a one-on-one match between Becky and Bayley, and those two kind of mix it up. And throughout this match, everybody kind of got like their strides in and were doing their thing, hitting their big moves and everything like that. I remember that they were even outside the ring just beating each other to a pulp. Like, I didn't expect much from this match, but it actually did definitely deliver. But towards the end of the match, I believe Bayley had hit her rose plant on La Vicarious, and it looked like she was going to win. I was like, okay, cool, I'm okay with this decision. But Bayley, being the wily veteran that she is, she winds up rolling up Bayley into a backslide pinfall, and 1, 2, 3, Becky Lynch retains her Women's Intercontinental Championship belt. I tell you one thing, this match actually kind of over-delivered, kind of ran on a little long, but outside of that, I have nothing like bad to say outside of the roll-up, because I'm like roll-up out for WWE, because they do this too much to like protect their superstars and stuff. And it's like, look, one loss isn't gonna just be like, oh, they're buried. So that's the only bad thing I have to say about that. But hey, congratulations to Becky Lynch, and we're gonna see where this storyline develops between the three of these ladies, if it ends right here or is it gonna continue. So hey, you have to wait and see what's gonna happen. In this next matchup, it is for the NXT Women's Championship. It is JCJ putting up her title against Jordynne Grace. So, not gonna lie, didn't expect too much from this match, but I knew it was gonna deliver. Jordynne Grace is definitely an exceptional wrestler. So is JC Jane. This match actually was pretty surprising, to be real with you, because the way it was going, JC Jane was actually whooping on Jordynne Grace. And you see how big and brolicky Jordynne Grace is. She kind of lost a little bit of like muscle mass, but outside of that, she's still significantly bigger than JCJ, and JC was just like whooping on her, like she was like grounding her, and I was not expecting that. And JC Jane was wrestling like the rent was due or something. I was like, God damn, like she was just rag tagging her all around the ring. And then mind you, Jordynne Grace had Blake Monroe at ringside, and I kind of already figured like the writing was on the wall from there. So with that being said, like towards the end of the match, like, I mean, before I even get there, the two actually had like a really great matchup. But towards the end of the match, as they're going back and forth and everything like that, of course, you know, Fatal Influence was like getting involved and everything like that. Blake Monroe wound up taking out the adversaries, and then she wound up holding the Women's Championship. And I already knew from there when she held it, and she was like, no, I got this. I already knew from there. The writing was on the wall. So as Jordynne looked like she was going to go ahead and wrap this up, she wound up getting hit from the back with the Women's NXT Championship by Blake Monroe. And then JC wound up stealing on Jordynne Grace. And then 1, 2, 3, still your NXT Women's Champion, JC Jane. I knew she was not going to win the NXT Championship here, but I didn't think this was going to happen. I kind of figured that Blake was going to go heel. She actually works better as a heel. I was actually surprised that she was face, like in her initial run, like when she first debuted. But I'm telling you one thing. A Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe feud is definitely on the horizon. I don't know if Blake Monroe is aligning herself with Fatal Influence, but if that is the case, I mean, not really against it, but we got to wait and see the development of what's going to happen on NXT. Definitely, for sure. In this next matchup, it is for the women's tag team titles. It is Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez putting up their tag team titles against Soruka and Zarya versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus the Kabuki Warriors. I'm not going to get into the play-by-play or whatever because it was too much going on. Honestly, I don't even remember who started the match off. I just remember it was just chaotic. Okay, now that I think about it, it was Roxanne Perez and Kairi Sane. So that all the teams got their big moves in and did their thing, and I expect nothing less but the best out of these women. Honestly, all of them are very exceptional wrestlers. But towards the end of the match, I believe Saruka and Zarya tried to do like a double team move on Alexa Bliss. I believe Saruka did a backstabber and Zarya is supposed to do a spear, but she accidentally spears Saruka because Charlotte Flair wind up moving Alexa out of the way. And I'm like, this is very uncharacteristic of Charlotte Flair because, you know, she cares about nothing but herself. But we're seeing a different side to Charlotte. And another thing before I end it off, Charlotte was actually getting like a face reaction. They even was cheering for Charlotte to get tagged into this match. And I'm like, okay, like, but that's what all we've been asking for, to see another side of Charlotte. That's it. But anyways, so after all of that happened, Big Mommy Cool gets in there. She winds up hitting her Tahana Bomb, 1, 2, 3. She retains the women's tag team titles with her newfound partner, Roxanne Perez. This actually was a, you know, pretty decent bout. This was actually pretty good, actually. They all did their thing. They all, you know, hit their moves and everything like that. But I'm wondering what's going to happen with the Judgment Day. And if the women's tag team champions are going to be all over or they're going to just be on Raw. I hope they're not going to be just on Raw. Hopefully they go to SmackDown too. Maybe feud with other women on that brand and NXT. Of course, Raw as well. But we have to wait and see how everything turns out. In our next matchup, it is for the WWE Women's Championship. It is Tiffany Stratton putting up her Women's Championship against Trish Stratus. And this match actually was pretty solid. It's nothing to really take home about, but the match started off with the two kind of like filling each other out or whatever. And then, you know, of course, Tiffany Stratton kind of works his heel in this match. She kind of slaps Trish around and she kind of like beating her up a little bit and like ragtagging her around. It was very gnarly to watch. But Trish Stratus, of course, is not a slouch in the ring and she is like fighting back. And honestly, she didn't wrestle horribly in this match, but it kind of felt like a little bit off. I feel like the chemistry with them isn't like completely there. But, I mean, overall, the match itself was not a horrible match. Towards the end of the match, as they're, like, going back and forth, it's crazy because Trish Stratus actually hit both her chick kick and Stratusfaction, and Tiffany Stratton kicked out. But towards the end of the match, it looked like Trish Stratus was about to hit a moonsault. And I'm like, I guess she's playing, like, homage to her bestie, Lita, which, like, where is Lita? Like, why is she not a part of this whole evolution? Like, hello. But she wound up missing, and then Tiffany Stratton wound up hitting her with her prettiest moonsault, 1, 2, 3. Tiffany Stratton retains her women's championship. So I already knew that Tiffany was going to win here because, I mean, she more than likely is going to drop her championship at SummerSlam, which is fine by me. But I much rather would have had seen, you know, Trish Stratus versus Jade Cargill. But, hey, I mean, it's not going to happen now, obviously. But, hey, it is what it is. But we have to just wait and see what's going to happen in the future. Because I'm not going to lie, Tiffany Stratton's championship reign have not been the best. And I'm ready for it to end. Yep, we're going to end it right there.
Naomi tries to throw her briefcase at Jade Cargill. That's the word. Jade is like, for a good majority of this match, like beating her up or whatever. But Naomi also was like fighting back. Also, I noticed that like Bianca Belair was calling him down the middle. She wasn't like a factor in this. And I remember one spot where Naomi was like choking Jade out with a chain, and there was another spot where she put her head in the table, the corner of the table, like the back of the table, where the sand part, and she was like trying to figure. Can you see? Can you see? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, come on now. And there was another spot where Jade Cargill tried to throw this case or whatever, this metal case or whatever on the top of Naomi's head. I was like, girl, you trying to commit? Like, what you doing here? And there was another spot where where Naomi drop kicked Jade into like the monitors on the announcer's desk. Oh my goodness, that was wild work. But anyway, it was towards the end of the match, Jade wound up wrapping this up, and she wound up doing her Jade to the table on the second rope, and I was like, goodness gracious! And it was right to the table, 1, 2, 3. Jade wins the no holds barred match. It was crazy because as Bianca Belair is like raising Jade's hand, it looks, I don't know, it kind of gave me like a weird vibe or whatever. I don't know. I kind of thought that Bianca Belair was going to go heel here, but I was wrong. Because, I mean, why else did she get into the club with him? I mean, it wasn't like she had no business being in here. I mean, she is a part of the Big Three, so I wanted her to be a part of Evolution, being though that she wasn't a part of, the last one. So I'm glad to see Bianca Belair in this, but congratulations to Jade Cargill, and we're going to see what's going to happen at SummerSlam. Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton, and who's going to go over in that match, which is crazy to think about because that's like in 3 weeks. I'm a good there.
In our next matchup, it is the Women's Battle Royal, and whoever wins this gets a future Women's Championship match at Clash at Paris. So this match, like I said, I'm not going to get into all the names. I'm going to put them, on the side or whatever, because I'm just going to go ahead and say that it was a lot of eliminations being had. One elimination that really disappointed me was Jada Parker, of course. She got eliminated. And then another one was Chelsea Green, like a little bit. I know one thing, no shade. I did not want Nikki Bella to win this. She did not need it, just to be real with you. Sorry for you Nikki Bella fans. No, I wanted somebody else to win it. Maybe a few others. I'll probably put them like on the side. But yeah, those are the ones that stood out to me. The final four was Lash, Nia Jax, Nikki Bella. Now remember, Nikki Bella got eliminated because I believe Lash kicked her off of the apron. I think it was by accident because I think Nia was holding her or somebody was holding her, something like that. And then she just got kicked off. And then the double team happened with Nia Jax, and Stephanie Vaquera and Lash Legend wound up getting Nia out of there. I said, oh, thank goodness. The two people that I mostly did not want to win this match are gone. So I was thinking to myself, is Lash going to win in her hometown? Because as we all know, that this was her hometown in Atlanta. And unfortunately for her, she did not win. Stephanie Vaquera wound up doing her devil's kiss on the ring apron, and then she rolled her right on out of there. And your winner of the Women's Battle Royal is Stephanie Vaquera, which was one of my picks to win. And actually, I'm not mad at all about this. I'm excited. But I wonder who's going to be at Clash at Paris as champion. Is it going to be Io Sky or Rhea Ripley, or maybe it may be somebody else completely different after SummerSlam? Who knows? But like I said, we got to stay tuned and see what's going to happen in the weeks coming, because SummerSlam is again in about 3 weeks, which is crazy to try to build up any feuds to then. But hey, we just have to wait and see. And finally, we are here at our main event. It is the Women's World Championship match with Io Sky putting up her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley. So the two, started off kind of like friendly or whatever, trying to fill each other out and, trying to overpower the other and hit their little cute little moves and stuff like that. But then Rhea was like, okay, the gloves is off. I respect you and you respect me or whatever. So, hey, let the best woman win. So they kind of took the gloves off and started really wrecking up in there. And the two kind of had like a cool back and forth bout. And after a while, the referee got missile drop kick because Rhea Ripley had ducked out the way. And Io accidentally hit the referee. And the two were brawling like this was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Wow, like they were brawling all like outside of the ring. And then they went into the raftways where the fans were and was like beating each other up. And it even got so bad that like they were jumping off, the production, whatever it was somewhere high up they jumped off of, and it was just crazy. But anyways, back in the ring, Io Sky had hit her moonsault after like they got back in the ring, and the referee only counted a 2, and I'm like, huh? So I was just like, okay, what's about to happen now? I mean, she kicked out, so is Rhea gonna finally go over? Like, what's happening here? So anyways, the two go back and forth. All of a sudden, I think Rhea or somebody was on the top rope, and then Io Shirai end up hitting the Spanish Fly, and they're both out. And all of a sudden, I hear Naomi's music hit, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, what? She cashing in that, like. And I got my own little theory about that, but I'm going to save it to the end. So Naomi cashes in. She hits her briefcase, and it officially becomes a triple threat, mind you. So she hits the briefcase on Io Sky, and then she winds up getting Rhea Ripley out of there. And then she winds up hitting her split-legged moonsault on Io Shirai. And 1, 2, 3, Naomi is the new Women's World Champion. And I'm not mad about it, but however, I got a problem with it only because she already won that Women's Championship. Maybe not that particular variation of it, but she won it already twice. So this is the third time she won the Women's World Championship. Like, but for real, for us, 2 SmackDown and then Women's World Championship. She never won the Women's Championship that is the Raw Women's Championship. And I remember her saying that she always wanted to win that particular title, being as though she never held it. So I'm kind of like have mixed feelings. I'm glad, and I was right that she wasn't going to have a failed cash-in. Thank goodness, because WWE would have never heard the end of it. But I only have one problem with it, though. With Goth Mommy Rhea, what's about to happen? Because I hope the hell y'all not about to have SummerSlam matchup with Rhea Ripley and her, and then have Rhea go over or have a hokey finish. Like, look. If that was the case, then y'all should have went with the original plan, like how we all expected, which was Tiffany Stratton getting beaten by Jade Cargill, and then Jade Cargill getting beat by Naomi. It was just right there. But again, I'm not going to complain. It is what it is. I'm glad it wasn't a failed cash-in. So I just feel like they only did that to have Tiffany Stratton have a longer reign with the title. Because if Jade Cargill loses at SummerSlam, Triple H, you ain't never beaten those allegations, and I'm going to leave it right there. Comment down below, how did you feel about Evolution? Did it beat the previous Evolutions out the water, or do you feel like, nah, we still love the first Evolution? But honestly, this particular Evolution with the surprises and everything happening and everything like that, it actually was pretty solid. I would say that it beat out the last Evolution's PLE event, but definitely with this main event, I definitely didn't expect all this chaos happen in the main event. It definitely did entertain me. But comment down below, like, share, and subscribe. Help me grow this channel. Your love and support is definitely greatly appreciated. And welcome. Peace. TJ, I'm out.
Get up. Yes. And come on, I ain't got all night. I want to open up my weekly. Ooh.
Naomi.
Lord.